Guys, the question is, how many singlets am I ripping tonight? That's the question. What was that episode? What were those storylines? Guys, I don't know what to say. My cousin group chat is actually hilarious right now. Guys, there's a lot for us to unpick and unpack. So as I usually and always say, number one, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and definitely join the family. We are on the road to 30k. Also be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also on my Twitter at SarahDestinyX. And number three, get cozy and comfy with a nice drink. We're discussing a lot today. You better get cozy and comfy. I've got a cheeky orange juice with bits right now. Anyway, guys, let's get into today's review because I don't know what was going on. So let's first start off with Kady and Mitch. Of course, they were talking about the date. You know, they had the date yesterday with the spaghetti, rice, cheese, whatever that situ was that Whitney and Sammy pulled up together. They're, of course, speaking about that. And guys, I need Mitch to find shame. We are 4 weeks in. Mitch hasn't found an ounce. Okay? Mitch has not found an ounce of shame. So you guys, of course, already know that Kady did feel some type of way about the date with Zach, and so is Zach as well. I already said this in yesterday's review. The date wasn't giving me much. It seemed like Kady was very much uninterested. I feel like Zach literally repeats the same lines. I don't really get anything new from him, especially in regards to his language as well. But of course, Mitch ended up telling her that Zach said, of course, that the date was a bit dry. Mitch the snitch, okay? That's what it's given. It's given messy Mitch. Are you Mitch? Are you Michelle? What is it? Because I don't understand why he's always in people's business but his own. Mitch, it's actually okay. And I asked you guys in one of my reviews, I said, guys, who is voting for Mitch? Who's voting for this guy? Like, I think at first it was kind of like funny, like, oh, is he actually okay? Why does he do this? But no, guys, Mitch is messy. The guy is so messy, and for a guy, you don't need to be in other people's business but your own. I don't really understand. We'll briefly move on to Zach. Zach said that he will chat to Whitney tomorrow because you guys know they had a little conversation. We'll get into it later on because you know that they do end up having a date at the end of the episode, and I have words for that. Okay, I have many words, so we'll get into that after. Of course, Whitney was also speaking to Catherine, and she was just like, yeah, you know, the conversation was so overdue. And guys, I won't lie, the fact Scott is literally just, it's like Scott doesn't like being around the guys, and I hear it because from today's episode we found out that they're very messy, but Scott honestly likes gisting with the girls, and I'm here for it. You guys know I stand Whitney and Catherine and Scott, but we'll get into that later as well because I have to tear everyone else's singlet in the villa apart from Ella's in today's review. I have to do it. I actually have to. Of course, Zach was now speaking with Kady about their conversation. Not really much to discuss there other than the fact that I feel like Kady just, I don't know, I don't feel like her coming back to Love Island was the right fit. She gives me her teacher vibes of the villa. I'll be very honest with you. I don't get much from her. I expected her as a bombshell. It's really bombshell. She's giving me shell and no bomb. I'm getting really bored of her scenes. I just feel like maybe just in terms of the maturity levels in the villa, she's just a bit too mature for the show. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Now let's briefly move on to Tyrique and Zach speaking. I was definitely screaming here because Tyrique was like, act like you've been here before, bro. Act like you've been here before, because Zach was just like, listen, I don't know what's going on with the whole Kady situation. So I think Tyrique was pretty much just trying to amp him up, like, bro, you've got this, just be yourself. Tyrique said a very interesting sentence saying, oh, you two are from completely different worlds. Sis is from Hertfordshire and he's from South London. Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours max to get from location to location. I don't know where Tyrique thinks everyone is. Okay, I don't understand that one. But in all honesty, Tyrique was definitely trying to give up Dr. Phil. He is the last person to be taking advice from, unless it's on how to get to, I don't know, unless it's how to add to your body count. I don't know, because does Tyrique get girls? He must if his body count is over 100, right? But anyway, yeah, it was given Dr. Phil. But Tyrique, oh, wait there, because we'll tear your singlet. Because did you guys see the preview for tomorrow's episode? Let us go. Now let's move on to the night time. Of course, Kady was speaking to Leah about the situation. I can definitely tell that they're trying to form a little union over there. Kady was just like, you know, I just want Zach to be honest with me, blah, blah, blah. Especially because Mitch already went to go open up his big mouth and literally say, oh yeah, you know, Zach told me this, X, Y, Z. So definitely something forming there, but like I said, we'll get onto that later on because they do end up having quite a heated discussion. Catherine did say that Scott brightens her mood. It would be nice to see it. Okay, we've been asking the producers for Catherine and Scott scenes, Catherine and Scott, and they want us to do us dirty and show us what they showed us today. Hey, y'all, you will pay. Okay, the producers have to pay, because what was that? I don't know. And of course, nighttime, Catherine and Scott were kissing, and Zach and Kady were also kissing in bed as well. Very interesting from Kady. After all that mouth, you guys still ended up kissing in bed, but what's my own? Now let's move on to the following morning. We'll speak about the girls' chats, of course, and then we'll go into the boys' chats. So starting off with the girls, Kady was talking to Leah and Ella about Zach wanting to get to know Whitney. I feel like it low-key triggers her a bit. Not really sure why, but we'll get into that later on as well. Although I actually do like when Zach and Whitney do speak, I don't see anything like proper blossoming there. But at the same time, they have really good... There's good connection there, guys. I don't lie, they have good connection. I just don't know if anything is going to blossom there just yet, because Zach, his mum, his dog, everything around him is always, oh, it's early days, it's been early days. So it is still definitely early days for them two, but I don't know if I see anything blossoming there just yet. Let me know down below. Whitney did say that her and, what's this? Her and what? Oh, sorry, Zach. I'm so sorry. I wrote Sammy and I don't know why. But we need to say that her and Zach had a really good chat. And Catherine also said that the date with Scott went really well. Now let's move on to the boys. Mitch was saying that he basically told Kady, her name's Kady, right? Yeah. He basically told Kady that she shouldn't put all her eggs in one basket. And Sammy told him to make sure that he speaks to Zach so that he can set the record straight. And Scott also said that his date with Catherine went really well. I have noticed one thing before I get into Sammy and Mitch combo. Scott doesn't like talking to the guys about his business, and I don't blame him. But also number two, Sammy was right to tell Mitch that. I feel like the guys in the villa have actually clocked that, you know, Mitch is a snitch, you know, and you can't just go around telling people these things and not actually confronting your so-called bestie in the villa. It's not making sense. Now let's move on to Zach, Tyrique and Sammy having a conversation about Mitch and how he doesn't follow protocol, because of course Sammy was relaying what Mitch told him in the morning chat, and that's just the honest truth. Guys, don't get me wrong, I know no one in this villa, there's no soul ties here, we don't have to be besties, but there's at least a code. Mitch doesn't know how to follow any codes. Okay, how he has made it 4 weeks into this villa with not one solid connection literally blows my mind. So I've definitely noticed that they have clocked that Mitch is a snitch. Now of course Zach now ended up pulling Mitch for a chat. Guys, I was actually screaming because I've literally been saying for these past few episodes, someone just needs to sit down with Mitch and say, bro, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on? What is going on upstairs? So of course Zach now ended up confronting Mitch about, you know, what was the conversation that he has with that he had with Kady. And like I said, it just once again was given no bro code. Like, Mitch has no loyalty to anybody. I don't even know if he has loyalty to himself in this villa. I don't understand. But of course he was just like, nah, I just said this, I just said that. 100% trying to downplay what he said, because you know later on that Kady ends up confessing to Zach what Mitch did actually say. Now let's move on to Zach now, of course, speaking to Kady, and of course she confessed to the fact that Mitch said that, yeah, the date was dry. And first things first, I'm going to go into that. Guys, there's so much to discuss today. But first things first is number one, Zach's lingo. Like, don't get me wrong, guys, I speak in slang once in a while, you know, a little slang buddy. But slang is supposed to be like, don't get me wrong, not necessarily your everyday language, but you're just supposed to just slide it in there once in a while. You just slide in. Zach speaks in slang 24/7. I don't get it. Everything is broski, everything is bro, everything is like, there's even sentences that he said that don't even make any sense because the slang is too much. You need to learn to dilute it with the English, or more. You have to mix and match. Do you get what I mean? But of course Zach now ended up confronting Mitch, and he was like, bro, like, what exactly is going on? Mitch all of a sudden was like, no bro, I didn't mean it like that. I was just saying, I was just doing it. It's given stutter, okay? Because it's not making any sense. Mitch, like, you didn't have to... This is what I mean. Is it Mitch or is it Michelle? Okay, like, I don't understand why he's acting like this. I don't get why he's acting like this. I mean, even if he wanted to get to know Kady, I don't know. Does he see Zach as competition in the villa? That has to be it. Because there's no other reason for Mitch to act like that. I don't get it. I really just don't understand. If you know, let me know. But of course, Zach was like, you know, bro, what's wrong with you? I hate being dragged into nonsense. And why would you throw me under the bus? And Mitch was like, bro, you're my priority in here, bro. You're my best mate in here. I wouldn't do that intentionally. And then, of course, they ended up like hashing it out. But what made me scream was as they hugged and they were walking away, Mitch was like, oh, I just talk a lot. Oh, so you know. You know you talk a lot, yet you continue to do it. Mitch, why? Mitchell, why? Guys, I actually don't know, but at least he knows. He even talks a lot. Of course, Mitch now goes to call Kady for a chat and pretty much apologized for dropping Zach's name into it. It was given I'm trying to cover my back because the guys are onto me. But I think all the guys know that Mitch is a chatty patty and he does not understand bro code. And they know Mitch is definitely a snitch. Now let's move on to Montel. I'm about to tear a couple singlets right now, okay? Let's move on to Montel and Whitney talking first before I get into the rest of them. So first, Montel was talking about Catherine and Scott to Whitney, and he was just like, oh, like, what do you think about Scott? Do you feel like Scott is genuine? Okay, number one, Montel, you are in no position to be talking about any other couple. Have you unpacked? You arrived yesterday. Okay? Montel, you just arrived, babe. I didn't understand who he thought he was to be asking those questions. Of course, Whitney was like, why would you ask that unless there's an underlying something there? And of course, we then know that the rest of the villa started speaking about it. So it really started off with Tyrique and Jess, guys. If you didn't watch it back because a lot of them were talking, it was definitely Tyrique and Jess. Tyrique was just like, oh no, like, he's not genuine, he's not this, he's not that, like, who does that? And then Ella, I'll be honest, Ella was really the only person in the villa who was defending Catherine, okay? Ella was literally the only one like, you can't say that, you don't know what combos they have, you don't know how they are, I definitely see this, blah, blah, blah. And then I think Jess was like, but how do you know that? And I'm just thinking, babe, I also know that's not you talking, because the guy that you're in a couple with actually confessed in his entire villa that he doesn't find you attractive. And you don't know that yet. I need everyone to be very guided right now because I can tear singlets from the beginning of the review to the end. Okay? I can really do that. Of course, the villa is very small, guys. We already know this anyway. Catherine and Scott could hear them speaking about the conversation. They weren't that far off, which is why I just found it very distasteful, if I'm going to be honest with you. And once again, the producers, also, their singlets need to be torn because we've been asking you for Catherine and Scott scenes. We want to see their developments. We want to see their growth. And in today's episode, that's what you show us. Jail. Okay? Absolutely ridiculous. I am so sorry. What was that? So of course, Catherine and Scott were now talking about it, and Catherine, you guys know that Catherine is very emotional. She can even cry for someone else. Talkers of her crying about her own situation. She was just like, she just finds it really mean that, you know, we can literally hear everything. And Scott was just like, you know, come here trying to console her, and she was just like, I know it's not okay, which it isn't. And Scott did say, yeah, he's going to speak to everyone about it because, yeah, it's rude. I'm so sorry. Like, and the thing for me is the people that are talking are people who shouldn't be talking, because you guys have been going through the things that you've been going through in your situations. Some of you just landed in your situations, aka Montel and Leah. Let's be very guided. So once again, let's close it up ever so quickly. And I just think it's a shame. Like, don't get me wrong, I know we haven't necessarily seen much of Catherine and Scott, but it's not everyday problematic couple. It's not everyday drama with the couple. Maybe they are actually just low-key and laid back. Like, I don't understand why that was the storyline that was presented to us today, if I'm going to be very honest with you. And on top of that, what did I also write out? Yeah, I also typed, and I tweeted this as well, guys, that Sammy, once again, he literally told the entire villa that he's unattracted to Jess and this and that and blah, blah, blah. No one told he singlet. Scott hasn't even come to tell anybody in this villa that he finds Catherine unattractive. And you guys are trying to get onto him. Does that make any sense? Okay, now let's move on. Of course, to them ended up getting a text that Sammy and Whitney were going to go on a date. Another thing as well, what's up with them giving dates to, anyway, let me rest because my head is actually just words are just coming out. So of course, Sammy ended up choosing Jess, no surprise there, and Whitney ended up choosing Zach. Guys, I won't lie, I couldn't really focus on the date because my head was still glitching from the whole Catherine and Scott situation. My head was actually glitching. I couldn't really focus on the date, but I did take down a few notes. I won't lie, Whitney 100% makes Zach nervous. It's like he stutters when he's around her. They have good chemistry, which is why I'm so confused if it's something I want to see. But at the same time, no, because the guys currently in the villa, none of them are given. So I'm really hoping Castlemore comes to give us all that it needs to give. And Whitney is actually given someone who can handle her and compliment her very well as well. But of course, they were speaking about their goals, what she's looking for, and a little flirting in regards to, are you my type? Yes, I'm your type, etc., etc. And then Sammy and Jess speaking about the door still being open and the spark still being there. We've been hearing that since Monday. let's wrap it up. Now, let's move on to Kady talking to Catherine about how she feels about Zach, especially with it being early days. I don't really have much to say here because Kady actually irritated me towards the end of this episode, so I'm just going to skip. Now, let's move on to the nighttime. Of course, the guys and the girls ended up coming back from their date. As they were getting ready, though, prior to them actually coming back, Kady was like, I've just told him that all I want is honesty. Like, that's literally all that I want. I just want honesty. So we'll get into the girls talking and then the boys talking about the date. So let's start with the girls. Jess said that, you know, she's really happy with Sammy, that they've picked up where they have left off. I think moving out is going to be chef's kiss juicy, because all that Sammy said is going to come out. These Love Island producers ain't slick. We know what they're going to do. So that'd be very interesting to see. And Whitney also said it was a good date. The camera kept panning to Kady. Do I want to say what should I say it? I'm not going to say it. I'm going to see how tomorrow goes. And then I'm going to say what I actually think I want to say, because it's not given. Okay, and don't get me wrong, I get it, like, yeah, you like the guy, but you also told other people in the video that you did find it a bit dry, and you are low-key, it almost came across like Kady was getting the ick. So why is it now all of a sudden that Zach is potentially interested in someone else? Yeah, that's a glimpse of what I'm going to say if what happens tomorrow happens. Anyway, let's move on to the boys. Of course, Sammy did say that he is happy. And Tyrique also asks Zach if the combo that he had with Whitney was better than the combo that he had with Kady, in terms of like just their communication and how they converse with one another. And yeah, he said 100% yes. But once again, do I see anything happening with Zach and Whitney, sorry? Currently not right now, but they have good chemistry and I don't mind. Now, of course, Zach now ended up pulling Kady for a chat and said that, you know, it's completely early days and that, you know, there's no need to be closed off. And she was just like, no, like, no one's telling you that you need to be closed off, babe. Like, whatever. And then she said that, you know, I just want you to be honest. And I just kind of feel like Kady was acting a bit weird. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I feel like Kady was acting a bit weird in today's episode. I couldn't really read her too tough. I felt like, yeah, I couldn't read her too tough. That's what I'm going to say. Of course, Zach now told her, you know, that, you know, I already heard anyway that you want to get to know Mitch. And she was just like, no, who told you that? So Kady now calls Mitch over. And guys, I don't know if Mitch is the villa doormat or not. Okay? I don't know. But of course, she now calls Mitch over. Mitch now comes and she's just like, Mitch, did I say X, Y, Z? And Mitch was just like, oh, bro. And the thing is, guys, Mitch talks so much. I don't even remember if he said that, but he probably implied it or insinuated it, because Mitch will be Mitch, right? So he's just like, no, bro, like, bro, I didn't say that, bro. Come on, bro. That's how Mitch talks. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You know me, bro. I didn't say that, bro. And obviously, Zach's just looking at them. And then Kady's literally shouting in Mitch's face like, I don't want to get to know Mitch. I said, hey. Guys, I honestly don't. Who is voting for Mitch? I've told you to confess. I've actually told you to confess, because I don't understand how he's managed to stay in this villa for so long. Of course, Mitch now ended up walking back saying, oh, I'm just going to leave the villa. And then she said that, you know, she didn't want to... Oh, sorry. She said that she's going to be closed off. Like, she's going to take a step back. Or actually, I'm going to take a few steps back. Because obviously, if you want to get to know Whitney, you can get to know her. So... I don't have a problem with Zach wanting to get to know Whitney and also with Kady wanting to get to know Mitch, but like, it's early days, you guys aren't closed off, and I feel like the second the second Zach and Whitney, whenever anything was good, it's just like she became very, I don't know, I felt like the energy was a bit weird, but let me know if you agree, disagree down below. Of course, Kady now ended up going to speak to Leah, and lo and behold, there were a few Karen tears. The Karen tears that we've seen this season. Oh, so interesting. Okay, why? I don't understand. I'm sorry. And I'm not a heartless person, guys. I'm just so over it. I'm so sorry. I'm very much over it. But she was just like, oh yeah, I just kind of feel like Whitney is being very smug with it. And my thing is, I feel like Whitney, maybe she's intimidated by Whitney's character. You can tell that Whitney is a very confident person. If you're intimidated by the character, baby, just say that. But she was just like, yeah, like, Whitney, she's even being smug with it. And then Leah was there talking as well, like, oh yeah, if she was a girl's girl. Huh? Guys, what? You guys are actually irritating me now. You're actually irritating me. And I have one troll in my comments. Anyway, I won't even tell you a singlet today, because you actually don't even deserve any of my breath or energy right now. But honestly, cut it out. It's actually enough. We've seen, we've heard, we've seen, we've heard, we've seen, we've heard. I didn't really understand the need for that conversation. And even if she was going to have that conversation, I didn't really get why the tears were necessary there, if I'm going to be very honest with you. I mean, Kady literally just arrived like a couple of days ago, right, as well. So if Zach isn't going to be closed off, then I don't see any crime in that, if I'm going to be honest with you. Anywho, Montel and Tyrique ended up coming. I'm screaming. Tyrique was like, sorry, what's going on here? But also number 2, do I want to say this? I'm not going to say it. Guys, if you know me well, you know what I'm thinking. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay? If you know me well, you know what I'm thinking. But she did say, oh, you know, I should just be dumped. And you know what? I don't even know why I'm crying about him, because I'm not going to be second best, blah, blah, blah. Once again, just goes back to what I said, where I just don't know if Kady coming back was the right fit for this season. And I said that when she first joined the villa. You can even go and look on my past reviews, because you can't take my singlet. I say what I said, and I stand on that too. But yeah, what I said then also applies now. I just feel like the dynamics that she's bringing into the villa isn't, I don't know, it's not what I expected. And everyone can grow, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't what I was expecting. Of course, we ended up getting a glimpse into tomorrow's episode, and it's looking like Tyrique's singlet is going to be the one torn first. It's looking like his nyash is going to be on display, but Tyrique, of course, ended up shouting at Scott, like, you only want to be with Catherine because, what did he say again? I think he said something along the lines of, you only want to be in Catherine because you're trying to find a way to stay in the villa, blah, blah, blah. And we rarely hear Scott, like, angry. He's very calm spoken. We've never really heard him shout. He literally was shouting at Tyrique. Ella was like, Scott, let Ty talk. Catherine's looking shocked, like, a lot is going on. And then of course you got a little glimpse that Castle Moore is here, honey. I know that's right. So I'll be very honest with you in saying that I'm not really happy with the way Scott and Catherine were portrayed in today's video, only because we've honestly just been asking for scenes to see their development, and that's what they give us, when we've actually seen scenes of them in the background of other people's scenes, having fun, smiling, giggling, playing about. Why did they show us this? I don't actually seem to understand. But tomorrow, let us see what the conversation is about. Already not pleased with it, if I'm going to be honest with you, and we haven't even seen the episode, but let's see what tomorrow's going to be about. But yeah, guys, would love to know what you guys would actually think of tonight's episode down in the comments as usual. And yeah, that is it. So once again, guys, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and definitely join the family. Other than that, please do take care, stay blessed, have a lovely evening. I love you so much, and I shall see you tomorrow. Bye.